What's going on, Facebook family? This is Ken again with Ken's Corner, and we're continuing our Black Friday Black Tour. Again, we're emphasizing and we're going around and we're talking to African American business owners. Today, I'm with Mr. Jerome Clark of Quality Cars. And Mr. Clark, how you doing?
How you doing?
All right.
Good to see you.
So, Clark and I go way back. So if I just start saying Clark, we go way back. As a student, I was a student at Central State University. He was working there as one of our fire and police officers. So Mr. Clark, tell us how you got started, man.
Well, how I got started actually is in the car business here was I was with my daughter's mother, and actually my daughter, was on the way.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I needed to actually get into something to really get my life going and stuff like that. So actually, I went to Sinclair. I looked in the book there, and I found law enforcement, police academy thing, and I was like, I think I'm a good guy. I can do that. So long story short, jumped into it. Got an academy. It was 6 months. Graduated out of the academy. My daughter was born. Actually, I got out, got a job. My daughter was born 6 days after I got into a law enforcement position. So I always know how many years I've been in law enforcement by my daughter's age. So I was a police officer for almost 21 years. Got out. I kind of stopped doing that August 30th of 2018. Actually, to rewind back, I also started working at Sinclair Police Department, and I started getting these big checks. And I've always been kind of an entrepreneur. I'm like, I always worked 3 jobs, and I finally started working this one job, and I made like almost $2,000 on the check, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with all this money? So I'm used to making $300 on the check, one job, 200 on another job, and maybe 100 or 2 on another one, and thinking I was balling. And finally I made $2,000. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So somehow I got into like flipping cars, going out to the auction, heard about the auction, started going down there, buying cars, and I got money to fix them up. So I get them fixed, bring them back, post them, sell them, started selling them pretty fast, and I started making a lot of extra money. And then I started doing little payments for people and have people make payments. And I was like my own little dealership outside of, law enforcement. So I was doing that for actually the last 20 some odd years. My little brother kind of caught on, Julian, and he, I told him what I did. So he started doing the same thing. He's got kind of like a natural salesman, spirit. So as years went on, finally we were like, we need to do a family business. We got to do this together. And as years go on, we keep talking about it, and nothing really transpired. And finally, boom, it just happened. Honestly, it was fast. And he's strong in some areas, I'm strong in other areas, and it's like a puzzle put together, and it came together. So it's kind of been a blessing. He handles a lot of the IT, some of the banking stuff, other things, and my daughter's kind of come in. She's been handling like the website and stuff like that, and getting that stuff together. So it's all kind of come together as one with a family. And honestly, I worked at Central State for almost 21 years, and I kind of learned from. I hate to kind of say anything like this, but I learned from bad leadership that I wanted to be a better leader. So from seeing a lot of bad leadership, I knew I wanted to be better. And it's actually kind of a good thing that I had at the time some of the bad leadership, I hate to say that, because it helped drive me to my out my comfort zone. I finally got out of my comfort zone, because I would have probably stayed in my comfort zone saying, hey, I need to have retirement, I need to work, I need to have something to fall back on, I need, everybody says, you go to college, you try to, make a living for, and retire. Well, actually, I was listening to this one video by Steve Harvey, and it was a jump video. And he said, you know, you gotta jump, you know. And I just was like, it just kind of hit me right. I was like, you know, I do gotta jump. You know, if I don't jump, I'll never be successful in the way I want to be successful. You know, success is what you believe it is. And my belief is I really want to live comfortable to, you know, help my next few generations of kids. So it's just like, it was scary. It was scary. I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of anxiety. I walked away from a job half my life, and my anxiety actually kind of kicked down. I didn't say anything to anybody, but I come in, I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do? You know, I wonder what my next step is. I don't know. Sometimes you don't know where you're gonna go or how it's gonna end up, but you just have to keep moving.
So with that right there, when you said the next step, if you had to talk to a couple of entrepreneurs like myself, could you give us briefly like 2 or 3 things that you would suggest as an entrepreneur, how to get started, or some of the things that you've learned?
First, I would have to say, find something that doesn't feel like work to you. It has to be something that doesn't even remotely. I come in here sometimes early, and I don't leave till 11, 12 at night, and it's really not like, if I was working a job, I would be kind of like, I need to go home. I don't want to feel like being here. I don't want to, you know, all this other stuff, but I'll be here 11, 12 at night. I've actually made 2 sales at midnight in my dealership. I was sitting here doing paperwork, and someone opened the door, and I looked, and they're like, "You're open." I said, I guess so. He was like, I was just got off work at midnight, and I've seen a truck, and next thing you know, I end up selling them a truck. So that's one thing, is find something that you don't feel like you have to work. The second thing is, you have to make steps. You have to put forth action towards something that you want. You can't say, I want to be, I hope to be. There's want to be and hopes to be is really not going to drive you any forward. You got to actually start to do research. You have to start to really put forth effort into it. I mean, if you don't, it's like procrastination, and that's what you see 96% of people in society do. I mean, not that it is what it is.
So one of the things that you said that was interesting, if you could tell me, how has it been rewarding working with your family? You mentioned your brother, you mentioned your daughter. How has it been? Explain to me, how does that feel working with your family?
It's actually kind of touching. It's actually kind of like, you know, being a man, you don't want to be sensitive and all that stuff, but it always makes you want to like tear up sometimes. Like, wow, you know, my family, my family's here. It's all together as one, and it's working, and our strengths are coming together. And you know, it took a little time to get my daughter on board, but she's on board, and it's like, it's exciting to have your daughter, you know, over there, and my brother and my mom. You know, my mom helps out. You know, I have to drive to Cincinnati every day to get parts. I have to bring them back. So my mom gets up, she comes with me, we drive to Cincinnati, and we back and forth 2-3 times sometimes in a day, just bringing cars up, transporting them to get them here. So it's really kind of it's amazing, and I've been lucky to have like great people come in to work too as well. It's been amazing.
So I'm glad you said that, because I for one think that we need to change the narrative that you can't work with your family and friends. I think it's an individual situation, but it's lovely to hear this story of your family coming together and everybody taking active participation in the business to help change that narrative. Now, next question I ask: how has the city of Xenia embraced you?
Actually, I've always been very involved in Xenia. I've always coached. I've coached baseball, I've coached wrestling, I've coached football for many years. And with that being said, it's the community. People want to always down the community of Xenia, but I'm always trying to talk Xenia up, because every city's got its negatives. Every city's got its drugs and all this other stuff in it. But you know, our city of Xenia, to me, it's unique. We have our bike. We got the bike hub here. We have, you know, a few other things. I mean, it's coming up. We can talk it down, but you can go to any other city and you know, a matter of time, you'll have something to say about it. So the city of Xenia has actually been pretty good to me. I guess maybe partially being in law enforcement's helped, you know, but I've always been active in this community.
So I got one more question before I put you on the spot that you don't know about. So give me one pitfall, one thing that you would caution an entrepreneur or somebody starting out, one pitfall to look out for as an entrepreneur.
So there could be so many. It just depends on the angle. I would say, first of all, getting into whatever you're getting into, I think attitude has a lot to do with it. I think your attitude really can drive your business up or can drive it down. Like if you come in, it's easy to be negative, it's easy to do all this other stuff, but if you have negativity in your work environment, it just drives it down. It drives itself. I mean, I've lived it, working jobs and seeing, you know, good people go, and you know, it's just treatment. You know, treatment of people, attitude is a lot. I don't think probably it's probably mentioned a lot of things, but it creates a good atmosphere.
Okay. All right, so now this is what we're gonna do. There's a Charger out there that I've personally been having my eye on, but what we want you to do, we want you to sell that car to the public. So we're gonna transition outside, and you're gonna sell something. Listen, whoever's watching, you need to come and buy a car. We know your taxes just hit. We know that. Why not come and support one of our local heroes? Like I said, I've known Clark for many years. Yes, he's coached. He's been involved in some of the same activities I've been involved in here in the community, so he's a very positive role model. So why not? Don't spend your money down there to somebody you don't know. You know this man. So he about to come out here, he gonna try to sell me this Charger. Now all I have is $2. You see if he can sell this Charger to me for $2. All right, so come on, man.
Sell for $2?
So we're gonna sell me a car. This is the first on Ken's Corner.
Oh,
see if he can sell me this car.
Oh, I need some keys.
Yeah.
Hey, John, can you give me some keys?
$2. All you got is $2. It's a nice inventory, as you can see. It's a very nice inventory that we have.
We're down here at 310 South Detroit Street, Xenia. We're on the south side of town of Xenia. I've been here since March this year. Did a lot of rehabbing and stuff like that. So yes, I went from honestly 3 cars on this lot to 30 cars right now. So the people across the street at Xenia Glass have been saying, "Wow, you're really doing it." I said, "I knew it would multiply in time, you know." So, all right, let me go ahead and sell them this.
Sell me this car.
Okay? All right. Okay, here we got it. Here we go. We got a 2007 Dodge Charger down here at South Detroit Street 310. What this is, this car right here has only got 105,000 miles on it. So let me do some quick math because it's 105,000 miles, 2007, so it's 12 years old. So it's basically just over 10,000 miles per year. Hasn't hardly been driven. Also, I've had a Carfax done, no accidents. Also, it's had never has had an engine light on in this vehicle. Never an engine light in this car. So let me also show you some cool features about this car. You can't go wrong. Oh, let's go from back to front. You can't go wrong with some TVs in your car in your back seat. You know, everybody's got kids, everybody's got kid friends that are also in the car. But you got a TV, DVD player here. Opens up. Both sides, dual. So your kids can stay busy and not bother you. You put on one of their favorite little DVDs, and they're okay. Also, it's got legal tent on the vehicle.
That's key. Legal tent.
tent.
Legal tent. You get
Legal
pulled over.
tent.
He used to pull people over like,
Don't let them lie to you. I was the coolest cop you ever know. Hold on, I know there's a lot of Central people in here, so don't y'all even put no post on there and start telling stories, because I know you're gonna tell stories and you're gonna tell a lot, especially if there's been on there. So also in this car, it has let's see, you got the moon roof up here. Yep, you got, so summertime you can cool down, be all right. It's got a little extra. You know, some couple skulls in here. You know, someone did their own little thing in here. But you know, a lot of people love that stuff. So, turn her on.
this is all live. We're not edited.
All live.
The car started up right when it
Started right up.
started right up. This is all live.
It's got the 2.7 V6 engine in it. A little dusty, but you know, hey, there's nothing but an engine. Everything's topped off. Everything is ready to go. So, let's see. What else we got? Got the black on black. Got the black on black wheels. I mean, stealth at night.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he has convinced me. We're going to go in here and we're going to work out some payment options on $2 and see how long it takes me to pay it off. But no, for real. Hey, I want to thank you, man. And another thing I like to say as we pan around, and these are things as customers that I look for. First and foremost, the lot is clean. That's very big. That lets you know that he's taking time and care and making sure he puts on a great product. As you can see, great customer service, friendly, will talk with you, will work with you. Now, he's not going to work with you for $2. That's a joke. Trust me, that's a joke. But please come on down to Quality Cars. See Mr. Clark. See his other business partners. Come down. Taxes are here. These are great starter cars, especially for college students or people on a budget. These are great cars. Know this man personally. So again, this is Ken's Corner. Now listen, we're about a week and a half ready for the actual podcast and everything to drop. I've been excited. The website is 90% done. Episodes are on the way. Got my jewelry going on. I have a lot of things going on. So this is Ken's Corner again with the Black Friday Black Business Tour. See you later. Peace.
See ya.